yeah.
So let's start off and ask this question. Is it too much hype what's happening in Colorado?
Oh, you want me to answer?
Let's talk. Welcome to the Clear in the Air podcast with D and Q.
I'm prime time.
Oh my Lord. First things first, about what he got on, you know he's lying.
But nah, I'm repping Prime, but it's our version of Prime.
Which we're going to talk about a little bit later.
For sure.
So, what we're talking about today is our boy Deion Primetime Sanders, the program that he has erected in Colorado, and just the things surrounding that.
Resurrected, how about that? He resuscitated the program. Because it's been there. I know y'all don't know, but Colorado's been around for a long time. The Buffaloes, yes.
What they've been doing for a long time.
Hey, they have a pretty solid history, but they've been getting smacked up here lately.
Lately?
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately?
Ooh, yeah.
So, today, again, really kind of talking about the program, the culture, and do we believe in it? Yeah. So, you're the research guy. Talk to us and tell us about what you feel the culture is, how they started off the season. You know the history, like you just kind of mentioned. So talk to us.
So, well, let's talk before about, because some people might not know Deion's background. So let's start off with that. Deion Sanders played football at Florida State. He might have played a couple of sports at Florida State. Probably one of the best athletes ever. I mean, just all around. He could hoop. He played Major League Baseball, Super Bowl champion with my Niners, one of those. And then he left us and went to our arch rival, the Cowboys, and won a ring with them. But we ain't gonna talk about that. I might get a little salty still. But I mean, just one of the Hall of Famer. I mean, just one of the greatest athletes of all time, multi-sport athlete.
He played on both sides?
He played some receiver. Yeah, he played some receiver. He could for Dallas. I know he caught a couple passes. I remember seeing him catch a couple passes. One thing he did do, I think he had a football game one day. Then he flew and played in the World Series that night or something. This is like one of those crazy stories. Got into coaching. His first, I know he had a high school or something in Dallas that he had. Then he went the HBCU route and coached at Jackson State. Brought a lot of exposure to HBCUs. Definitely built that program up. And he recently took the job at the University of Colorado, the Buffaloes. I am familiar with Colorado because they're in the Pac-12 where my team is. But like I said, they do have a history. They were in the Big 12 before that. And I just always liked them. Chauncey Billups played there for basketball. Cordell Stewart went there for football. So they have some notable players. But he took the position to Colorado. A lot of people were surprised. We didn't talk about this, but you know, a lot of people were disappointed that he left the HBCUs after making all the promises that he was going to do. A lot of people felt he was well within his right to lead the program because he did what he said he would do. He stayed there the amount of years he said he would. He said he would build up the program. Everything that he said he did, he would do, he did. But he took the job at Colorado, which is a PWI, predominantly white institution. And yeah, he's taken like maybe 70 players, 70 transfers. He pretty much brought the whole Jackson State to Colorado. And they've started off very well. At the time that we're recording this, they're now 3-1. They started off 3-0, including a huge road win at TCU. And TCU was in the national championship last year. Playing well, a lot of buzz about the program. He's got a lot of celebrities on the sidelines. He's got Lil Wayne walking them out, Master P, Offset, Stephen A, Shannon Sharp, Cameron, pretty much any and everybody is on the sidelines. And a lot of people are saying they are honorary Colorado fans now. So, you know, it's a lot of new Buffalo fans, Buffaloes fans here lately. But the Prime effect is real. It's a lot of hype around it. A lot of people may think it's too much hype, undeserving hype, and a lot of people, we ain't gonna say who, but maybe are not happy to see the way he succeeded and may want to see him fail. So, yeah.
So let's start off and ask this question. Is it too much hype what's happening in Colorado?
Oh, you want me to answer?
Let's talk.
I think that the hype is justified because I mean, programs have done this before. USC always had like Snoop and Will Ferrell and celebrities on. Having that is nothing new. And prime time, one thing, the word I use for prime, he's infectious. Like he's a great coach, great motivator. Like, you know, you feel like you would, as they say, run through a wall for him. And, I mean, the dude can talk. He can talk. He can promote. He can recruit. So I think in that sense, the hype is justified. I think from a football sense is what a lot of people don't realize, that Colorado won one game last year. They were 1-11. They were one of the worst teams in the country. And, you know, for any program, it's going to take a few years to turn it around. You got to get your recruits in there. You know, it's going to take some time. The coaching staff is adjusting to, you know, to the conference, the environment, the team, the facility, like all that stuff. So I think the hype of how good they're going to be was a little over-justified. I think they're probably they've overachieved already. They only won one game last year. They've already won 3 already. I think they're probably going to be about an 8-4 team. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think I want people to scale back those expectations. But people going to ride with them. People are going to ride with them. They ride with pride. Don't know nothing about Colorado, never been, ain't even know they had a team. But they're going to ride with pride.
You heard it here first. He said 8-4.
Yeah, I think 8-4. They probably play, you know, they'll definitely, I think they'll be bowl eligible, make a bowl. I don't think it'll be one of the major bowls. It might be because of him, and, you know, they may invite them because of the prime effect. But yeah, I think they'll go about maybe 8-4, 7-5, 8-4.
Okay. So, given what you said, and especially with the 70 transfers or, you know, whatever, would you want your child or your cousin or your nephew, you have godchildren, you have a godson, would you want him, would you encourage him to play for Prime?
Yeah. Like I said, he just, you could tell he cares for the kids, and you could tell we know, like, a team is, you know, it's kind of like your family. You spend a lot of time with them, you in the locker room, you on road trips, this and that. So, you know, you learn things, and you're at that age where you're learning to become an adult, you're becoming a man, and those are the things that they teach you. Prime definitely instills, like, life lessons into these kids, and like it is bigger than football. I know, you know, and I'll probably say later, at the end of the day, it's football. But, you know, you do learn life lessons with any team. You learn life lessons in that, and he's great at that. And I think if he creates so much buzz that people who may not even thought about going to college, we talk about this college for everybody, right? But if he can generate enough buzz to where young men, especially young black men, all of a sudden want to go to college, then I'm all for that. And again, yeah, I would definitely, you know, recommend if my son wanted to go, if I had a son and he wanted to go, I'd be like, yo, Prime is that dude. He is that dude. And I think Prime, the big thing about, you know how it is when we went to college, our parents wanted to make sure we were in a safe environment. And we had people around us that took care of us and could protect us because it was our first time, away from home, right? And I think he provides that leadership, that fatherhood type quality that young men need, you know. So yes, I would. How about you? Because you got sons.
Yeah, I would say the same. And having boys that played football, I would love that because I know what I give to them. And what, you know, my goal in raising them is, and post-football, whether that's an NFL career, college career, whatever, I would want them to make sure that was instilled, I feel like Prime would be an extension of me. He can't take over who I am to them, but an extension. Mm-hmm. And then you realize for a lot of kids why it's important is because unfortunately you have, I would say even young black kids who may not have that at home. Mm-hmm. So not is it an extension, but it is, I am that guy for you.
Right, I am the beginning of that fatherhood type experience for you. Right.
So I think, for me, I would say yes. Now, this is the other part, right? I don't think we always agree 100% with people. And sometimes when you get this negativity with things, people say, well, why do you have to do it this way? And why do you do it this way? And why do you do it that way? And I think we can miss a blessing when we spend time trying to pick people apart. Mm-hmm. I think another reason why I would appreciate Prime as a coach, if I was in a position to send a child or a family member, or if I had any influence on someone who was, had great potential, is because he's been in the NFL. So not only do you know what it takes to be successful in more than one sport in college, you also know what it is at the highest level of football. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's another reason.
Right, he's won at every level.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Did he win a World Series? Oh, yeah, he won a World Series with the Braves. Yeah. So he's won at every level. He was always the best, but one of the best at every level. Yeah. I didn't even think about that part, but if he's gonna set your son, your nephew, your little cousin up for success. Yeah. Because he's done it.
He's got the pedigree. Mm-hmm. So
exactly.
When you think about it from that standpoint, and again, is it everything that a parent is going to agree with him about? Are there some? And the other thing too is you don't always control the hype. We asked the question about is it too much hype? We don't control the hype. You don't control the hype that media wants to give to a certain situation. And you realize that it's just going to be certain noise or hype that just comes with it because, let's just be honest, he's an African American coach. He's been in the news and you see success. He was very successful at Jackson State. Mm-hmm. And now you see him and it looks as if he's going to be let me tell you another thing, because what I'm getting ready to say could sound bad. Let me just say it first. And it looks like he's going to be successful here at Colorado. Mm-hmm. Sidebar, he's already successful, and it's because of what you said. They only won one game last year. Mm-hmm. If they never win another game, they're already 3-1. He is successful. He did better than what the coaching staff did last year, which he's going to win more than 3 games, whether it's 8-4, 9-3, 10-2, whatever, it doesn't matter. He has done that. And that is in the first year. So you only have hopes that it will get better Colorado will become a consistent team in the Pac-12 as time goes along. So I think it's kind of a no-brainer. But just going back to the hype, you don't control the hype. You don't wake up and say, I want them to stop showing. Right. I want all these cameras in my face. The thing is you got to understand also, media is drawn to what appears to be successful or hot. Now, let's just say, for example, that they don't win any more games. You will not see all this hype. You will not see all this, oh, he's a bust, this, that, and the third. That's what you will see. Okay? And people will forget about the fact of what we said. It's not just the football. It is more than football. But people won't see that, oh, he's not winning. And so you'll equate that to, well, what is my son actually getting there? What is this child actually getting there?
He's getting an education for it. I paid for education, which is what you're supposed to be, right? But we know
let that be the hype.
Right.
So I think just changing gears, another thing that we want to talk about before we clear the air is, you see the way this man is dressed, okay? So he has been an Oregon fan since I met him. It's not going to change.
Nope.
And y'all may have seen him rocking Oregon stuff in previous podcasts that we've done. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. So tell us, some of the flack you got based on that?
I was like, well, I'm about to do like you. So my squad recently played Colorado. We gave them their first loss, beat down, 42-6. I was out and about in the city watching the game. Had my gear on, and I might have been loud. Well, let me be real. I might have been insufferable. But that's just because I love my squad, and we were playing well. And my squad was the first. I don't want to say real team because the win at TCU was huge for them, but the first, I think, really true test for them. And granted, Colorado was without one of their best players. It wouldn't have made a 36-point difference, but they were without one of their best players. But we did win. But it was just interesting because people was like booing me. It was like, how could you root against Pride? Come on, people. Like, one, that's my team, so I'm gonna root for my team. And two, like, what do we do? Like, Deion Sanders is not Martin Luther King. Like, I'm not
Martin Luther the King.
Yeah, I'm not turning my back on my race because I rooted against Deion Sanders.
Right.
For 1 week.
Right.
And it was my team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, and like I said, there's a lot of excitement and buzz about him, and people, so many Colorado Buffalo fans now, they like, we ride with Prime and this and that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, people, let's put this into perspective. I know we said it's, it's more than football, life lessons, this and that. But it's football. Like, what are we doing here? Let's not, he's not our savior. You know what I'm saying? He's not one of our major civil rights activists. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. What are we doing right now?
Right.
What are we doing? And that's the hype thing we was talking about. Like, he's going to win football games. Okay? Mm-hmm. And he's going to mold and help shape the lives of young men, young black men. And we're not taking nothing away from that, which is why I said I would like whoever, if they wanted to play for Coach Ryan, I would heavily endorse that. Okay? He's winning football game. I mean, it's a football game. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, my squad, if they win or lose, it's not going to directly affect my life.
Right.
My quality of life. I still got to grind. I still got to provide, right?
Yep.
Now I may be in a happier mood after a win. But at the end of the day, like, sports are sports. That's what I'm trying to say. Sports are sports. Like, now you can use that platform that you have for the greater good, yes. But at the end of the day, sports are sports.
Mm-hmm. Which, in all honesty, you would have still rocked all of this.
Yes.
If Colorado was 4-0 and had beat Oregon.
Yeah, same thing. I'm gonna ride with my squad, and I would have took all that vitriol that all the people would have gave me. You know what I mean? I would have took all that. I would have had to take it, but that's because I ride with my squad. You know what I'm saying? You do the same thing with the Patriots. Uh-huh. You do the same thing with the Celtics, the Heat. Like, that's just your squad, but you're not gonna let that affect. That ain't gonna affect you at home.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, everyone. I rooted against Deion Sanders. It was just for 1 week, and it was my team. Mm-hmm. He gonna have to hold this L. Hold it proudly, Deion Sanders. And at the end of the day, well, he owned it. Like, it wasn't two programs that thoroughly respect each other. And he said it. Y'all better get him now, because once he get his recruits in there and everything, he gonna be a problem. Mm-hmm. We already see that after, only like a handful of games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's great at what he does. He's great at what he does. We were just a better team.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and it's unfortunate because now, they'll be leaving the conference, so they probably won't play each other unless it's maybe like in a bowl game or something. Yeah, right. Probably won't play each other for a while. So this will be the last time Colorado and our Ducks will play each other. So, but that's a whole nother story with conference realignment, which is just killing college football, if you ask me. You got Stanford in the ACC, which is Atlantic Coast Conference. Stanford is in the West of the West. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it just makes no sense. But anyway, that's a whole other story for another day. Well, yes, everyone, I didn't turn my back on my race.
Sound like Jalen Rose out this month.
Yeah. Thank you for showing me that because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just you know how, and I can say this about us. You know how when we get behind something, we're passionate about it, and people are passionate about Deion, and they are on the Colorado train. So
yeah, you mentioned his recruits, and something else to mention. His recruits, it's two sons that he has on the squad.
Shador, which is the starting quarterback, and actually has been killing it, was getting like some Heisman love, He didn't have a great game against us, but that was just he doesn't have a great offensive line, so we was able to get to him and sack him and stuff like that. But he's legit. He's legit. They talking about he might be a high draft pick in the league when he decides to go. And then Shiloh, I believe, is a cornerback, a defensive back. So yeah, he which is another dope thing. Your father, as a father, he got his sons, and you see the way he talks with them and interacts with them. Not just his sons, but all his players on the sideline. Like it's very endearing, bro. Like you would want to play for that.
Right.
You would want your son to play for that.
Yeah. You think that comes with a lot of pressure for them, though?
You know what, though? I think it would for the average, but I think he's such a cool dad. And I mean, you've been prime time's child for all your life, so now it's like, I think he breathes that confidence into his kids to where, like, you can do anything.
Right.
Don't be scared out there. Yeah. And yeah, you are my son. You are my daughter. You know what we do. Yeah. You a Sanders. Now go be a Sanders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think if it is pressure for them, they handle it very well. They don't.
Right.
They don't really display it.
Right. Now the only thing, and this is kind of a sidebar, that I did not like, and that's what I'm saying, you're not going to like 100% of what everybody does. And when you find something that you don't like, let's try to stay away from tearing people down. Mm-hmm. I say that just to say, I think there was a video that was seen where he was saying how I think Shador, the quarterback, was his favorite son or something like that.
So he has I thought it was a joke, but it's actually true. He ranks his children. He has, I want to say 5 kids. So he ranks his children he just ranks them. So, and his reason was, and as you as a father, that has multiple kids, he said parents could say they love all their kids the same. They don't. and I'm not, he's not saying that he loves all his children.
Yeah.
But I think it's called power rankings. Like, how the NFL, like sports, anything, they have power rankings. So, if you undefeated, you might be in the top whatever the power rankings. And then if you lose one, you're going to drop in the power rankings. So he said week to week, some of his kids rise or drop in the power rankings based on the kind of week they had. Like if they got on my nerves or if they did this or this. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's meant to be funny, but he actually does rank his kids. I can respect the honesty of it. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and not saying I would do it, just because you gotta be careful. But again,
for sure.
Again, we gotta, just because I wouldn't do it and don't necessarily subscribe to that, doesn't mean I need to knock him down and try to tell him how to raise his kids. As long as all his kids are confident, moving forward and do great things as underneath his leadership, who are we? Right? So, that being said, man, let's clear the air, bro. I really think this was a dope topic just because sometimes what we see is not what is. And what I mean by that is, all this hype. Deion's not asking for it. And what more hype would he have gotten? Because he's not the one out there on the field. He was out there on the field, and even when he played, it was a lot of hype surrounding him. So at this point, it's kind of like I'm sure he's accustomed to it, but also it's kind of like I get hyped for what I do. Yes, I coach, but you still have to. There's great. I believe there are great coaches who things don't always translate into wins. So that being said and done, and this is what I would say, this is a great way to end, is I think we need to put a lot more focus on the culture of a person than the hype, because when the culture of a person is right, that means even if there are better football teams than what I am, I can still go on and be successful because of what was instilled inside of me.
Right.
So I think if you're going to be excited about anything, be excited about the football. I'm not going to take sports away from nobody in America. In fact, nobody in the world. I can't take nothing away from you. I wouldn't try. But I think, I would say, especially in our community, and let's be more focused on the culture that a person is instilling and trying to build. And the reason, but I can understand it. I can understand why we grasp onto things, because there's so few examples that get the hype. And so because of that, we grab onto the one thing. When I think what we should probably focus on a lot more is, you want to see more of it? You create it. You create it. You create it. Use that as the springboard that, I really can be a great coach, a great father. And let me just say this. There are plenty, we know about them, we hear about them, sometimes we don't hear about them. There are plenty of coaches and people in the small cities, boxing coaches and football coaches, and somebody I saw on Instagram, somebody in New York, actually my boy Chris Banks, shout out to Chris Banks, who posted somebody on Facebook saying, if you grew up in Hollis, Queens, around this time, for years, he was training kids basketball wise. So again, it's all kind of people like that. Watch this, who are not getting the hype, but they're not stopping what they do because of the impact that it's going to have. And shout out to grassroots. Grassroots, man, that's I love grassroots, bro. You don't have to know about me, just know I'm in here putting in that work. I love that idea. But again, we thank you guys for your support. You know where to find us: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, TikTok. Make sure that you are interacting with us. You can help us out big time by subscribing, liking, and commenting on the content. Show us some more love. Holler at us. We'll see you soon. Until the next episode, peace.
Go Ducks.